other thing to know about sin. Most of us think when we trespass, that is the issue with God. So if I do something to Brian and trespass against Brian, and then Brian comes to me and I apologize to Brian, I think it's settled. But there's a difference between the trespass and the sin. Give you an example. If I hit you with my car because I ran a red light and I hit your car and I caused an accident, then there are two things that went wrong. I trespass against your rights and I missed the mark when it comes to the law. So therefore, I have two issues to settle. One of them, I got to settle it with the law because the law tells me how to live my life within its framework. The other one is the trespass against because I've disrupted your life by my sin. And so therefore, the trespass against you. So when I apologize to you, that doesn't settle my issue with God. Y'all with me? And most of us think that those are the same thing. You can't sin against anybody. You can trespass against everybody. Your sin is against God. I'll give you an example. What did David do? What did he do? So how did he trespass? Everybody talk about the affair. He killed somebody. He had an affair. No, he murdered. like the affair. Both they were bad. But how big is a murder as a trespass? Took somebody's parents away, the spouse away, you took what I'm saying to me? That is a horrible sin or trespass. And it is a sin against God. So it's two things that are taking place. The other thing is he slept with somebody's wife, so he committed adultery, planned, strategized. He was in the sin cycle, right? And so he did two things. He trespassed, which means he disrupted somebody's life and hindered their ability to be where God was sending them. That's a trespass. And so if he just apologized to them, it would not have been resolved. So here's what he says in Psalm 51, verse number 4. Against you, and you only, have I sinned. You be like, no, you sinned against Bathsheba, you sinned against her husband, you sinned against, no, he says, I trespass against them. Trespasses usually don't lead us into a cycle. Sins always do. That's why it's important to know the difference. So you could be in a cycle. So he could have hooked up with Bathsheba and then said, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna do this no more. But he's still in the sin cycle. So now Bathsheba's neighbor come out and take a bath. And since he's still in the sin cycle, he apologized, but he just moved on to the next victim. You see what I'm saying? So many of us, if you apologize I lost my temper, I apologize to you. You haven't fixed your sin. You just handled the trespass, right? And so he says, I've sinned against you. He says, I have done what is evil in your sight. What I did was I got into a cycle that you saw that was wrong. And so I violated the law of my relationship, our covenant. And violating that law was the thing I need to fix. I don't have to worry about trespasses if I fix my sins. Let me say it again. I don't have to worry about trespasses if I fix my sins. If I drive right and follow the law, then I'm the likelihood of me having an accident at my fault, it gets lower because I'm following the law. It's not how I treat or how I relate to other drivers. So if I'm road raging and I get upset because this driver in front of me, and then I realize, man, I shouldn't have did that. And I apologize, but don't slow down. I've solved the trespass, but continue to be in the sin cycle. That's why it's important to know the difference, right?